how you can get out of that 9 to 5, how you can get out of that rut, and why the excuses just get in the way. They get in the way. It's time to lace up your boots, get to work, and make it happen. And this is what this kid's all about. You know, your story is twofold. It's the majority, but it's also the minority. And what I mean by that, it's the majority because he's going to show you and teach you and share with you how he got out of the rut that he considered a rut, right?
Yeah.
And also, the minority, that's the majority, right? The minority is, actually the majority is he was in the rut. The minority is how he got out of it, how he's staying out of it, and what's happening in 2017. So, enough for me talking, big man. Chris, introduce yourself. Let everyone know what we're going to do here. It's a lot of fun, right?
Yes,
so we're going to take them from the beginning, where it started,
okay,
where you're at today, where you see yourself going. I'm going to chunk that down and pull out those golden nuggets.
Yes.
You ready?
Got it.
Let's do this.
Do it, baby.
All right, so introduce yourself, man. Where are you from?
So I'm from Southern California, Chino, Inland Empire. You might not know where that is. It's about an hour east of LA. And I grew up there my entire life. And just this year I moved out to Orange County. It is beautiful, gorgeous.
Right.
I thank God, source, creator, whatever it is you believe in. I'm just so grateful that I got here and I am where I am today. And I could not have done it without surrounding myself with brilliant people who really expand me. You know, those mentors, those coaches, those people who...
The environment.
Yeah,
baby.
exactly. The environment is everything. Because I was an electrical engineer. I have my degree. And I was working at an industrial electronics repair shop. And I just saw that I did not want to do that for the rest of my life.
So I'm going to dive in deeper in
Let's
that
do
because
it.
that's a really cool combination of some things that I want to find out myself about you, and I know a lot of people out there. But let's start. So you were born and raised in SoCal,
Yep.
right? You know what we call that, right?
What?
Spoiled.
Ah, get out of here, man.
I'm a kid from Jersey. Just look at this. We're outside on his back patio. So in December, are you kidding me? And still no sleeves. I love it. So born and raised in SoCal, born and raised in the Inland Empire. You
Yep.
said. How was your childhood?
It was great, man. My
Yeah.
parents, you know, you could say it was kind of spoiled.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
gave me just about
That's the real.
everything
Okay.
I needed. You know, unconditional love. That's how I am the person I am today. That's how I have this focus to give people empowerment, to give people this chance that they create their reality, this like knowledge, this wisdom, this like belief that they can do anything if they set their mind
So
to.
would you say they were your first mentors?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
set that foundation.
Oh my gosh, they were there for me every freaking day, every moment.
So what was your mom like if you had to describe her?
Oh my
What's
gosh,
her
she's a saint.
personality?
She's a saint. She's a saint, dude. Like she would put up with anything that I threw her way.
Just
and,
unconditional.
Yeah, unconditional.
Right.
Dude. That's where I learned it, and she has this like pure heart of kindness, and everything she did. You know, my parents put me into church and stuff to give me that good upbringing, and I was kind of had the freedom to do what I wanted when I became an adult. But it's like that intentionality of, hey, we're going to give you the best upbringing, teach you how to, you know, manage your money, teach you how to go to work. I started working at 16. You know, they did everything they could to give me that foundation so that I would be set up for success in life.
So were either one of them entrepreneurs?
No.
Okay.
No,
So we're going to figure out where that entrepreneurial bug came
my
from.
grandpa.
Okay.
My grandpa, yeah.
All right. So did you grow up with your grandpa?
No, he was actually out in Arizona. I think he just passed down through the bloodline.
All right. So you got
Yeah.
some DNA in there,
Yeah.
right? You grabbed every other generation.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know, I always, like I just said earlier, it's better to be lucky than good sometimes,
Yeah,
right, in life.
absolutely.
But so how was school for you?
It was good, man. I mean, I struggled in the beginning.
Okay.
I didn't really get it down. Then my parents taught me. They drilled into me the habits of success. They drilled into me the habits of work now, play later. Work now, play later. And I
Okay.
got that long-term thinking through them,
Okay.
right? And I played sports growing up. I rode dirt bikes. I did a lot of different stuff to really round out my
Yes,
bases,
yes.
right? But they gave me lots of different opportunities to choose from. And with school, they said, do good in school. You don't have a choice.
Right,
right?
right.
You can get it done.
So what was the struggle in the beginning?
The struggle in the beginning was like I didn't want to listen to them. I didn't want to listen to the
Right,
teachers.
the
Like, I
rebel.
was this
Yeah.
rebellious kid, and I just wanted to be free and go
Yeah.
out and play and dance in the field and like, you know,
Yeah.
in
Be a
baseball,
kid.
I'm like dancing out in the outfield, you know, like picking flowers and stuff, doing whatever, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, just being a kid.
Yeah.
So then there was a point in time. About what age were you?
It was probably 6th grade when I had
Okay.
to transfer to a new school district, and
Right.
I had to like really create myself as someone new, right?
Yeah.
Because I was kind of like this rebel in elementary school up to 6th grade, and then 7th grade I was like, oh, I got a new place to fit in. I better like stay within the lines and like do
So
whatever I
that
got to
was
do.
kind of your aha moment.
Exactly.
For a little kid.
Exactly.
At that point in time. So they were definitely your foundation, and kudos, man, because again, that's a lot of, that's a minority, right?
Yeah.
That people can say that. But either way that goes, and I'm sure you're on board with this, either way that goes, when you become an adult, now it's on you, right? It's on you, and that's what I love about personal development. For the last 17, 18 years, it's not only changed my life, but probably saved my life a few times. The sports, was it a good outlet for you?
Oh yeah. Well, my dad kind of forced me to play baseball for about probably 10 years, right? And so I did that, and I just kept showing up. I was like, I hate this, right? I just want to go home and play video games. Like that was my life, playing video games, being locked up in my room all the way up through college, right? And so I didn't really have that much of a social life. I mean, I had good friends and stuff, we'd hang out and stuff, but I'd rather be playing video games. Right. And so I started going down some bad roads and just getting into trouble and stuff. And so I said, okay, I'm either going to continue down this path and end up somewhere where I don't want to be in 10 years, right? In jail, dead, or whatever, deceased, right? Or I can make a difference now, take a stand for my life. And so I did that. I changed.
How old were you?
I was 21.
Okay.
21,
okay.
yeah. Like, so it was right at the end of college. I had this turning point of, either corporate or end up in jail or, figure stuff out. And so I started just really getting into personal development. I started going to Toastmasters, speech and leadership.
So where did you first get introduced? Because I remember exactly where and how I got introduced to personal development. Yeah. How did you get introduced?
It was through a network marketing company.
Oh.
Yeah, my
that
best,
happens a lot.
Yeah, my best friend, he's like, hey, come join. And as soon as I started doing it, I was like, this is it. Right. This is the answer. This is how I win this game. Yes. These are the cheat codes. Personal development.
I love that. I love that. The cheat codes. And you want to know why MLM companies rely so much on personal development is because it's a 100% commission-based business plan.
Yep.
So if you don't have that mindset, and they understand that it all starts there, that you have nothing, you have no foundation, because all the other stuff can be taught, right? The products, how it's made, how it's produced, how it's shipped. All that is just stuff that you're going to be able to learn. But without that mindset, it's a whole nother game. So now you got introduced to personal development. How long ago?
That was 4 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. And you just
latched on, man.
Yeah.
I was hungry.
It becomes a drug.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And since I was really good at studying in school, I got like straight A's, basically from that 7th grade on, right? I was just incredibly ferocious with personal development. I would watch more videos than anyone. I would read more books than anyone, listen to more audiobooks than anyone. Like, I was hungry.
Yes.
So you got to be hungry.
And
got to be hungry.
Just driven. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. I love that. So who was your first, what was your first book? And who was your first mentor? When I say mentor, it doesn't have to be where you physically were with them. Yeah,
so the first book was The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Okay. And that was just basically about these small decisions over time that lead to a big result, right? The compounding, the exponential
just like
growth.
The compound interest.
Exactly.
In the financial world.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. So that was the first one that said, okay, this isn't going to happen overnight, but if I keep putting in the work, I'm going to get the result. Okay. Right? So the first mentor was definitely Jim Rohn. Right? Okay. Jim Rohn, because he was
MLM.
Dude, he's like well,
the
guy.
He was Tony Robbins' first coach. And as you guys know, when we jump off, Chris is going to be able to jump back on, reconnect with you guys, and he'll post everything we're talking about, the books, his websites, where you can find them. So anything we mention here, if you can't write it down, don't worry about it. He'll be back on. I'll be back on. So I just want them to know. Cool. So that was your first book. How many times did you read it?
I read it 6 times.
Okay. Yeah. And highlighted, underlined, right?
Study. It's not reading. We don't read books. You study books, right? There's a complete difference.
Yes. And also, my first book that I was in that got me moving was called Dare to Win by Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen. Yeah. And that became my personal Bible for about 3 years. I underlined how to, and I can tell you that book, Think and Grow Rich, obviously, and As a Man Thinketh, I can read that 100 times this week and get something new out of it every time because that level of awareness. just rising.
Yeah.
So what was the next step in personal development for you?
So the next step was really going to the live events, right? Because I got what I wanted to out of the books, and it's like, all right, there's got to be something more. There's got to be a deeper level of growth, right? And I found that through one-on-one mentoring and coaching and getting in the energy of an event, like, you know, having thousands of people at a conference or whatever it might be. It's like you just feel like you're getting.
What was
smarter.
your first event?
It was like a training event for the network marketing company.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. That was their training.
Yeah.
But they immersed you in personal development, right?
I brought in Bob Proctor, Eric Thomas, you know, like really motivational people and intelligent people teaching us about the subconscious. And it's just like I experienced myself growing, expanding, just being there.
Oh, you can't help it, right?
Exactly.
And even if you're, and just so you know, because I spent a week in Florida in 2007 with Bob, and he was actually really my first mentor, if I really had to say. And obviously it goes back to Napoleon Hill. But what he taught me a long time ago was, and what you say when you talk to yourself like Dr. Shaq Helmstetter, is even if somebody went to one of these and they were so closed off and they wanted nothing to do with it, they're still going to take a percentage in.
Oh, yeah.
And leave with it. Whether they do something with it or not is a different animal, but you're self-conscious. Yes. So what was the next, did you continue to go to live events?
Yeah, just kept going to live events, investing in more of the back end side of things, right? I started searching for other events, other personal development events. I found New Peaks. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Peak Potentials, T. Harbecker.
T. Harbecker.
Yeah. So I went through their whole track, and eventually I started like volunteering at their events and working, and that's how I got most of my first speaking gigs was at their events because I was just committed to their growth track, and I was at all of their events. So it's like, if you want to be up on stage, or if you want to be at a high position in some company, some endeavor, whatever it might be, model it and get in there at the volunteer level. Show that you're willing to do more than anyone else, and you will grow faster. You will stand out because everyone can go to the event, can go to the live event, the free event, and then they leave, and then nobody ever hears about them again. But if you keep showing up, or if you show up a day early and stay a day later, those are the people who stand out.
And it all comes down to bring more value than the next person.
Yes.
Right? Everyone wants to know about security in life, right?
Yeah.
That ever searching thing, right? Security. If you want security, bring more value. No matter what you do, personal relationships, business relationships. So I love that, man, and I love the massive effective action, man. It becomes magical.
Yeah.
So then they let you. Then you became a speaker for them.
Yep.
So you got on stage, you got on the platform, and then it just. I'm sure the contacts you made.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yes.
Because the guy from New York, bald guy.
Adam Markel.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a mutual friend, a really good friend, DC Cordova. Yeah. And she does her own program, but. Yeah, she knew Adam. I never met Adam personally, but my last understanding is he bought the company and then is running with it. Are you still working with them? Or?
So not as actively right now because Burned Up Coaching does our own events. My business partner and I were hosting our own live events.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I want to get into that because and we're going to do some follow-up shows, man, with you guys. So I love that. So make no mistake, right? Once you make that decision, you got to take massive, effective action. And here's one of the things, just so we can take them behind that black curtain and get inside your head, right? He didn't know how it was all going to unfold, right? He didn't know, and I say he, I'm talking about Chris, right? You know, he didn't know that, look, all he did know is his why was big enough. Yep. So he wanted to be in that world. He wanted to be in that environment, whatever it took. So that means if it volunteered, it meant volunteering for a year, 6 months, whatever that was, to create those relationships so they felt like you were really invested, right? Both feet in. That's who they want.
Yeah.
They don't want the people that put their toe in the water.
Exactly.
Right?
I actually wrote a book called How to Get the Most Out of Your Next Seminar. It's still being published.
Oh, beautiful.
Be on the lookout for it. I'll post
keep us posted.
Yeah.
Yes.
But basically, it recounts my last 3 years in personal development. I spent over 100 days in seminars, right? Just going to seminars. That doesn't count as volunteering. Yeah. Doesn't count as speaking. Doesn't count
being in the audience.
Yeah, exactly. Just being hungry for the information. Okay. Over 100 days, dude.
What was some of the most? So you spent that much. Yeah. What were some of the events that was like real aha moments for you?
Yeah. So a lot of them were the New Peaks course.
They were. Okay.
One was Enlightened Warrior Training Camp, teaching you how to be a warrior and just do whatever it takes, no matter what. Being powerful with your word. right? Another one was train the trainer, being able to get up on stage and practice these speaking skills, being able to sell from stage, you know, right on the whiteboard and have a presentation put together. Like, these courses made all the difference, and it only makes a difference when I implement it. Right, so I had to actually go out and start like hosting my own events, and that's what I did.
And doing it.
Yeah.
So, how long before you started implementing the action points, the action shots, were you into T. Harv Eker stuff?
It was immediately, man.
Okay.
Like, yeah, immediately. I would learn it on stage, and I'd say, hey, I want to speak on stage for you guys. Right? And here's what I'm doing offline. I'm going to Toastmasters. I'm hosting my own meetup groups. I'm doing online content, you know? Like, I just had this, like, wealth of value that I'm already bringing elsewhere that they could see I have a track record. Right. So here's another lesson for you. If you are putting out content, if you're delivering value to the world, if you're already being an organizer, someone who puts events together, who brings like-minded people together like you know, you're bringing these masterminding people like myself and other people who you have on your show, you're bringing the value together. People want to work with you. Right. The leverage starts to change. Exactly. Right. Exactly. It comes back on you. Exactly. It's not just you putting up videos by yourself, but it's like, hey, I'm bringing in people.
Let's collaborate.
Do you want to be in my network? Do you want to be on the A-list?
Right. I love it. And that comes down to one of the chapters in my program, which is create, don't compete. And when you're in that mindset, which I consider a courageous mindset, because unless you're talking about sports, competing really is a lack of limitation mindset overall. Now I know there's just different situations, but overall, when you're constantly in that competing mindset, that means you're always playing catch up. Yeah. Right. In my mind. Yep. But when you're creating, I just believe it's a courageous mindset. Yeah, it's like limitless. Yes. Creation is limitless versus competing is like, hey, what's this other person doing? How can I just lack in limitation? An incremental, like, hey, how can I get a +1 versus creation is like, let's go into infinity and beyond. You know? Let's do it. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So let's go back a little bit. They got a little taste of what's going on, how you got here. Let's go back a little bit. So you went to college. And you went to college for what? I went to college for electrical engineering. Electrical engineering. Yeah. So understand, right? When overall, what that ties into is who Chris was when he was younger, when he naturally liked to be in his room playing video. But think about that, right? Yeah. That ties into that to what he wanted to graduate with, because it's that IQ trump EQ type personality. Yep. What I want to find out, right, is it wasn't personal development that started to bring out that EQ in you, because it's rare, man. It's rare. See, my IQ is always trying to catch up to my EQ. Yeah. But thank God EQ is more important in real life than IQ. It is, right? It is. And I want to talk about that. But how were you able to make that paradigm shift? Was it personal development? It was personal development. Okay. It was the fact that, hey, I have to build a freaking business. Okay. And if I only rely on my knowledge, which I had a ton of, right? I could study, I could, build the best processes, and here's the step-by-step on how to go out and close someone. But if it didn't translate to me actually being in relationship with people, getting people, and having people feel comfortable and trusting me, then it didn't mean anything. Right. That's where I saw a lot of my failure. That's where I saw a lot of these learning lessons, these growth opportunities. Simply relationship. Yeah, right? Yeah. So I had to lead a team, and I have to have EQ to do that, emotional intelligence. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. How hard was it? Because that had to be your biggest struggle. Yeah. Right? Absolutely. How did you conquer that? And that's something on a daily basis, right? Yeah. Because your natural DNA is the other. Yep. Right? Yep. So how were you able to conquer that? Just by being more committed to developing relationships than staying locked up in my room, than staying studying. So I always look at it this way and I want to get your definition of that, is your why. I always say when your why becomes big enough, it's going to pull you through those fear barriers. Anyhow. Right? Yeah. So what was your why? My why is really just to expand myself, right? And be the biggest, baddest ass I could be. Okay. So in video games, right? I wanted to level my character up. That was the most fun, right? It was like, I want to be able to go wherever the hell I want in this world. I want freedom, ultimate freedom, time freedom, whoever I want to be around. If I want to hang out with Matt Damon or Brad Pitt or whoever, like, boom, I'm there. Because I have built this life up. Right. So there's actually 3 areas that I committed to mastering when I got into coaching. Break so the first area is business, right? With business, I learned people's businesses. I learned what they're doing. I learned what sales is, what marketing is, what communication and all that good stuff is. I had to learn that in business as a coach, as a personal development and business coach, right? So I learned business. I also learned communication.
right? So I had to learn how to communicate to them. I had to learn how to
man.
like have it land, or else it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And then the third one is leadership, right? And I had to learn leadership because if they don't take the actions that I'm letting them know, hey, this is what you have to do, then it's not going to work, right? So I had to learn business, communication, and leadership. With those 3 skills, I can do anything in the world.
100%.
Anything.
100%. So I love that. So you just focused your strength is learning.
Yes.
Right. So that's what he focused on, and he tied in all the other components to that. But his foundation was his strength. And I love that, because I always say in business, you want to enhance your weaknesses so you can run with your strengths. Man, double down, triple down, quadruple down on your strengths. So I love that. And I'm the opposite, right? I learn more hands-on. So a webinar or even a book, to be honest with you, I need an audio book because I love motion therapy. But like my marketing manager / partner, she's so good at learning that way. So when we want to move this brand and add to this brand, she's going to learn all that, and then we just implement it.
Yes.
You know, I'm the action guy,
Yes.
and she just throws it over to me. But that's the key. Let me get your feedback on that. What's your thought on your own level as a leader, your own level of awareness, then the awareness in your team?
What specifically?
Well, how important overall?
Right.
How important is your own level of awareness as a leader?
It's ultimate, right?
Okay.
Because if you don't have awareness, then you can't sense what challenges are going on, right? The first step to solving a problem is being aware that there is a problem.
Love it.
Right?
I use that analogy, right? If the engine light comes on and you say it's just my blinker, it's right. What's going to happen?
Yeah,
right?
you're
You're going to break down.
screwed.
Eventually, you're going to break down.
Yeah.
So I love that, right? And get as deep as you want in with the leadership, but I always believe that it starts with you,
Yes.
right? It has to start with you, and enhancing your weaknesses, running with your strengths, and then the overall ability to understand your team,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, what you
Yeah.
were saying about leadership is what you do in like small amounts, your team will do in excess.
Break that down.
Right? So if I'm taking, a 5-minute break or something, my team might take a 15 or a 20-minute break because they say, oh, if the leader's doing it, then I could do it. Or if I, tell a little white lie, then my team might tell a really big lie because they're like, oh, well, if the leader's doing it, then I can say whatever. Or if I take, a day off, then the team can take a week off, whatever it might be. So whatever the leader does in a very small amount, in small amounts, the team being led to does in excess.
It's like being put under a microscope.
Exactly.
Right? It just expands.
Exactly.
So that's very important to understand. And how important. I want your feedback on this too. How important is EQ as a leader?
It's everything.
Okay.
It's everything, right? Because if you have all the book smarts in the world, but you can't, relate to someone, you're not going to be able to lead them. You're not going to get the outcome that you desire because you don't know what's missing from their performance, from their, what they're dealing with. If they have this, big problem of I'm getting divorced and I can't even, focus on my work, but you don't have enough EQ to detect that, you're not going to get anything out of it. Right? Or you're going to get a fraction of the percentage that you could.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And let me be real clear too. Anybody that has a very, very high IQ or a stronger IQ than and trumps their EQ, and they're working on that, don't let that stop you. What that simply means is find somebody that you could partner with that has the strong EQ, right? So what's going to happen is you don't have to wait. Now you can keep moving forward. Second, I want your input on this. Secondly, is you're eventually going to raise your EQ because you're around that EQ and vice versa, right?
Yep.
They're going to raise their IQ because they're around that. So it's such a win-win if you want to run with that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because I used to be IQ.
Right?
I used to in college.
Everything.
That was everything. And I transitioned into EQ because I know that's what I need as a leader. That's what I need to lead thousands and thousands of people.
I got a question. This is going to send this home. What he just said is going to send this home. I already know the answer, but I want to ask. Would you say that back then, not only was your IQ trumping your EQ, but your pride was predicated on the IQ and how much you knew, how much you, right?
Yeah,
but
I know everything,
right? But think about this, right?
Yeah,
and here's where I'm going with this. It was so lopsided, right, that his identity was connected to the IQ. So here's where I'm going. That means if he can do it, you can do it because his whole identity was right.
Yeah.
And jump on that.
Absolutely.
Share that
So,
because people want to know that, right? Because
Yeah.
they're going, "That's great, Chris. Look, you're doing it, but I can't, right?
Right.
Because we love this crushy excuses.
Yeah.
I hate excuses. I sneeze, my
Yeah.
eyes get watery. I'm allergic to them, just like sleeves. I don't know what happens, but
Get them gone.
it happens that way. But talk about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that this IQ, going through college, I prided myself on how much I knew, how fast I could do a math problem,
Right.
how much I knew about physics and how the world worked, and I just that was my safety blanket.
Yes.
That was everything to me. Like, if anybody had a question, I knew the answer. And if I didn't know the answer,
I'll get it.
then I'll get it. I'll
Right.
do whatever it takes, right?
Yes.
And so I started transitioning into this EQ person because I saw that I was not happy.
Right.
I was disconnected from my soul. I was disconnected from my parents. I resented them. Along that process, what got me into a lot of trouble was because I stopped listening to my parents. I stopped respecting them and acknowledging them as my source of
And
power.
let's get right to the punchline.
Yeah.
You became a victim.
I did.
See, when you become a victim,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Victims
Yes.
never win.
Dude, they
Right?
don't. They
Okay,
don't.
so that's so apparent. So then you worked your way out of it. Now, before we go any further, I know you got some people jumping on here. You're bringing the heat.
Yeah.
I want to connect with them. Marion, do we have anybody jump on?
Yeah, Tom Londegaard, he says, compound effect, one of my favorites. And Derek Hardy says in his second book that you're better if you're reading a couple books over and over than reading 50 books a year.
100. Yep. Yeah. Well, 100%. I believe that. I mean, because you can just immerse yourself into that information and whatever that is that works for you. Tom, man, thank you so much for jumping on. He's got some great stuff going on as well. We're collaborating on some awesome stuff coming in 2017. Keep it rolling, big man. Who else we got, Marion?
Gloria Madrona.
Gloria, that's my girl. All right, can always count on
He
it.
goes, oh my God, I'm so glad you mentioned that you do not read books, you study books. I refer to my books all the time. This is extremely important information.
Love it. And again, if you can hit home with this, right, is you can. How many times are you going to keep getting more information out of that same book? Simply because why? You raise your level of awareness.
Yeah.
Right.
Just because at each new point in life, we're at a different spot. We've accumulated different experiences, so we have different things to reference and
Yes.
connect our brain and our neural patterns with. So it gets deeper and deeper ingrained into who we're being.
Love it.
Right? We could read it once, but it doesn't mean that we are going to be that book. But the more times we read it, the more neural connections we make, the more it's unconscious behavior versus consciously. I have to think about how to do this over and over again.
Love it, and that ties into why you want to read your affirmations or read something that connects with you right before you go to bed.
Yep.
So it sinks into that subconscious,
Nice.
right?
Nice.
Omnipresent, baby,
Yep.
omnipresent.
Yep.
Anybody else, Marion?
Gloria also says that consistency of trust, very good word.
Okay. All right. So you want to go a little deeper on that?
Yeah, consistency of trust being, if you are someone who shows up only some of the time, right? Or part of the time, or even most of the time, if you're someone who shows up most of the time, but you have these occasional moments where you just completely drop the ball, how do you think that's going to show up if people want to partner with you? If people are depending on you, or even if that one time happens to be on a first impression? What's that going to do to that relationship that you really wanted to join?
I love that. Let's go even deeper on that.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
What that does, and I did a video on this a few weeks ago. What he's saying is, look, at the end of the day, that's going to affect your relationships, whether you like it or not. Secondly, that's going to affect your epicenter, your subconscious, your self-image, because what that does is that puts another thing in your self-image, because that now reminds you that you don't show up. You don't do what you say you're going to do. And I believe everything I say,
Yeah.
maps to self-image.
Yeah. So it's if you say, I'm going to make $1 million next year, your subconscious is like, yeah, right, you did this, and this. Like, it keeps this track record, this long
Exactly.
list.
Exactly. And I had a lady, Evelyn, the awesome girl, after I did the video, she said, you know what? I think it was Evelyn. I hope it was. I'm throwing her out there. She said, you know what? I always made excuses why I was late. It was this, it was that. And she goes, that video made me own it. And for me, it's everything that I talk about all maps to one thing. It's your self-image, because I believe you can build it up, tear it down, but you can't outperform it, as we were taught. So, Marion, anybody else?
Yeah, Terrence Freeman, and he goes, yes, totally, and then 100% muscle, muscle, muscle.
There you go. We love the muscles.
And then he goes, absolutely. And then we have Craig Myers.
Okay.
And he says, hi, Dave, bro.
What's up, big man?
Growing out.
Terrence Freeman again says, emotional intelligence 2.0.
That's it, Big T from New York. Thank you for jumping on. Thank you guys for taking the time. Anybody else, Marion?
Vito V.
Okay.
New way to push manure. Verbal snake oil.
There you go. Well, you know what? Here's the deal. Everyone has their own perception. Everyone does whatever they want in their life. And here's what I tell people all the time. Everything that I share, everything that he's sharing, personal development, here's the deal. Make no mistake about this. I didn't make it up. He didn't make it up. This goes back to antiquity. And that's up to you, whether it resonates with you or whether it doesn't. And what I tell people all the time, when I'm on stage, when I'm off stage, when I'm in camera, off camera, take what works, throw out the rest, and that's all that matters. So we're here, and it's all about the intention. If I say something that hurts your feelings, if I say something that insults you, that's on you if my intention is pure. So let's keep it real, big knuckle.
Amen.
So I got me a little fired up, baby.
Yeah. Well,
a little fired up.
Don't believe a word we say.
Exactly.
Because all we have to come from is our experience. And if you don't go out and you prove this for yourself, then, oh well, right?
And here's the deal. I always tell people, I'm me personally.
Yeah.
Personally me. I'm not a coach. I'm not a mentor. I'm just a student sharing what I was taught and what's worked for me over the last 20 years, building and selling 3 businesses in 3 different industries. I was taught early on, it's not what you do, but it's how you do it.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, you take what works for you and throw out the rest, big man. Anybody else, Marion?
Terrence.
I'm sorry, who?
Terrence Freeman.
Okay.
And he goes, boom, exactly. Nail on the head.
That's it. Anybody else, Marion?
Some shout outs. We've got Sheena Rodriguez.
All right, Sheena, thank you, girl. Thank you for jumping on. Appreciate the love.
Tina Payne.
Okay.
And Eunice Torres.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for jumping on, taking the time. Make sure that you share this if you're getting value out of it. Make sure you invite people to jump on. Let's see the hearts. Let's see the thumbs up. We're loving this. This kid's bringing the heat. And I always say kid, that's where I'm from, but he's 25 years old and he's making it happen. And he's light years ahead of where I was at 25. So big time kudos, big man. Love it, man. I love it. I love it. So let's we'll get back to some people when they comment. So now you're starting to trump your IQ, believe it or not, right? Who would have ever thought?
Right?
Who would have ever
Say
thought?
bye to that identity. Tell me
right? Because
that.
you can always pull from that,
Yes.
right? You can keep building on that. So now your EQ is starting to trump. What are some of the changes you've seen in your life once you start to see that EQ? Look at it. Look at it. Smiling. Chest is up.
The flexibility,
Right?
To adapt,
Okay.
right? To not
Talk
be
about that.
locked into a specific laser. This is important, right? A laser focus is ultra critical. But if you're going the wrong way, it's not so important anymore. So I am so open now. I'm open to influences. I'm open to new information. I'm open to not being right all the time. I'm open to listening to people, whether it's the bum on the street or the billionaire next door, right?
Yep.
Whatever it is, I'm so open and I'm so grateful because that openness brings a lot of joy to me. Because I'm not so attached. I am detached from how things come out, but I'm committed to the results. I'm committed to the long term being the best self that I can be, the greatest possible self, and helping other people be their greatest possible self too. So with that commitment versus detached or being attached, there's freedom.
Okay.
Right? To however it looks.
Okay.
I bend with the wind.
Okay.
My roots are planted
Love
in
that.
my values, but I bend with the wind wherever it goes.
I love that.
So
I love that. And that's really the key to being an entrepreneur,
Yes.
being a successful entrepreneur. And one of the things that you mentioned, which I want to make sure that I highlight here, is I believe there's 2 components that create an unstoppable human being. And immigrants have that when they come over here, and I'm feeling that from you, which is hunger and gratitude. And when you can combine them two, think about that.
Yeah.
It's unstoppable.
It is.
Right?
It is.
When you can keep that hunger and that
Yes.
gratitude, there's nothing that can stop you. Right?
You know. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, so
Yes.
so I love that. I'm feeling that. So now, so take us into the how much time did you spend in MLM world?
I spent a year.
Okay.
Year, yeah, and like I'll admit it, I wasn't massively successful, right? I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how to lead a team, how not to lead a team, how to be an example.
So then
how
you were
not
very
to lead.
successful.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Success.
Everyone's
Yes.
perception.
Yes.
Everyone's
Financially, I did not make what I intended to make. As a human being experiencing life, growing through these lessons, massively successful.
Right. That, let me ask you this. I know the answer, but again, I love I want you to go deep on this.
Yeah.
You learn lessons in a year that I believe, and tell me if I'm wrong, I believe that the greatest classrooms and universities in this world couldn't teach you. Is that correct?
That's right.
Right? And
That's
that's
so
coming from an IQ
Yes.
college graduate
Yes.
right there. So don't take it from me. I dropped out of high school, so don't take it from me. But is that
That's
true?
it, man.
Talk
That's
about
it. Because this business was my baby. When I'm in school, it's like, yeah, I'm getting this.
There's no
education.
skin in the game.
No,
Right.
no. It's like this business is my baby. There's people's lives on the line.
Right.
If I perform, they succeed and they grow and they get the financial investment that they want to. They get the financial return that they want to. If I don't, then they might be closed off to opportunities for the rest of their life. That's what's in the balance right here. That's what's at stake. So the stakes get raised on the game. Skin in the game. Exactly.
It's everything.
Exactly.
It's everything. And real life boot camps trump it all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what happened. They put you through that year boot camp.
Yep.
Right? Now, stepping back, right? I had a business. I had a restaurant for a while up in Inland Empire. It didn't unfold the way I expected it to financially.
Right.
But I tell people this when I don't have a lot of time. They'll say, "What happened? Oh my God!" I'll say, "Major life lessons, major business lessons with an Ivy League price tag, and never spend a minute in class."
Yep.
That's it, brother. That's it, and that's the real.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
the real.
It's
And
true.
and it gave me things that I never would have been able to get anywhere else because it's the real world. And what I love too is that I think, and again, tell me if I'm wrong, but it taught you, or maybe you knew that, but it enhanced that you're not worrying about falling down, right?
Yeah.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
When people stand on the sidelines, they're
Right.
afraid to get in the game.
Yeah.
Man, the Monday morning quarterbacks, they're the most annoying noise I've ever heard in my life because they're afraid to get in the game. They're afraid to get dirty.
Well, honestly, the thing is, I think we all deal with that at some level,
Yeah.
right?
No question.
Like you said, we get past it. But that was one of the biggest challenges. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to do something wrong. I don't want to, be too aggressive with my team. Like, I don't want to rub them the wrong way. And that's what one of my biggest challenges
You were
was.
walking on eggshells.
Exactly.
And you couldn't be you.
Exactly.
And that's, you know what? I'm glad you went there
Yes.
because the times we live in are unprecedented. And I say this all the time. The social media, the platforms that we can create our own brand on our own terms, but you got to be you,
Yes.
right? You got to be you and let the chips fall where they may. Because believe me, I rub people the wrong way a lot, but that's okay.
Yeah.
As long as my intention is pure,
Yes.
I'm good. I can put my head on the pillow and move on. And where did you actually begin to find yourself and be okay with that?
It's been a process. I wouldn't say there's any one defining moment, honestly. It's been just day after day after day, leading new people. Because I'm in lots of personal development programs. One of them is called Landmark.
Okay.
So I coach people in that program on the distinctions of the program. And so through that coaching, I had to learn, what is actually going to have them take the actions that they need to take, right? And with my clients, like, what is actually going to have them take the actions? What is going to have it stick that they're not performing is unacceptable, right? So what has to come out from me? What words do I have to say? What emotions? What feelings do I have to create over there with them? And so through that process, I've just learned that if I'm caring so much about how they interpret what I'm doing to have it affect them, then that's this whole it's very convoluted. Versus if I'm just I know who I am. Here's what the freaking heck is going to happen.
Right.
If you want to get results, this is what you have to do.
Right. Then
No bullshit.
It took that focus. It put the focus on the wrong thing.
Right.
Is really what
Right.
it did. Right.
Right.
And in essence,
Right.
you're not doing your client a service,
Exactly.
or to the service that you could,
Exactly.
and you're not being true to yourself. Which, look, that's everything, man. That's everything, because we're with ourselves all the time, man.
Yeah.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Exactly.
As they say.
Exactly.
As they say.
Exactly.
Anybody else married?
Yeah, Tom Lodegaard, he goes, one thing missing from this thread, so I have to insert it here for consistency, the Shane train.
Oh, there you go.
Shane.
There you go. Can't forget the Shane Train, my boy from Philly. That's right. And while we're talking about that, we're gonna switch those Friday donut days to protein bar days, Big Shane.
Yeah.
Anybody else married?
Sandra Cassidy says, Sampson says, be open, be focused.
That's right. Thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you for that comment. Thank you so much. Anybody else married?
Karen Freeman says, thank you, Chris and Dave. Indeed, same here, Chris.
Big T,
Yeah.
keep making it happen, big man. Thank you. Anybody else married?
Just the shout out
Okay.
for Breezy G
All right. Thank you, girl.
and Elizabeth Brown
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
and Ruby Noonan
Beautiful. Thank you, Ruby. Can always count on Ruby. Thank you so much.
and Jody Doty.
Jody. Awesome. Up in Washington, your neck of the woods, Marion. Just had a few instant message threads with her before we came on. She's just making it happen. I think she's going to be going on a podcast soon. Jody, thank you so much for taking the time.
And Craig Myers.
All right, Greg, feeling the love, my man. Feeling the love, brother. So let's take him to where you're at now and what's going on with you and your partner down in San Diego. What do you guys got going on?
Yeah,
Some
man.
epic stuff here.
Dude. So really, the focus right now is these live events, right? So we're actually doing a bunch in the Microsoft store. They have this like back theater room that we rent out, right? And we bring people in. We do live meetup events. We do things called Break Through Your BS, where it's breaking people through their bullshit and their limiting beliefs and helping them like experience themselves as powerful, right? Break them through, get them to a new reality. That's really what a breakthrough is for us. We're helping people reach their destination, right? Because a lot of people get stuck in on this pathway, on this journey, right, to like being their best selves, right? So in addition to that, we have a bunch of other live events, but really our focus right now is working on high-end clients who really want this breakthrough in their
action takers.
Exactly.
Right? Let's get real. The action
Exactly.
takers. The people that want to help themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, because at the end of the day, right, you can't do it for them, I can't do it for them. You can provide the information, you can provide the support, but they got to be able to lace up their boots and get to work.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it's
So
about.
if people aren't willing to take that first step, you know, there's lots of different other people that you can go to and just kind of get the information and not do anything with it, but that's not us. That's not burn it up coaching, right?
Okay.
We want people to get down and dirty and get into it. So that's our focus for 2017. You know, that's what we're doing right now, finishing up the year, planning for 2017. 2017, we're going to be having a lot more events in Southern California, and then traveling all over, doing more interviews, you know, really just expanding the business, building that foundation, creating more online content, right? Online programs, subscription-based programs, webinars, and really just growing communities, man.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I love it. So what's your partner's background down in San Diego?
Yeah, so he actually has a background in fundraising for a nonprofit.
Okay.
He also has worked in a lot of different sales capacities, and he's a mentor to people who are up and coming as well. So so he like teaches people how to take whatever their dream is and make it a reality.
Okay.
So
How long you been partnered?
We've been partnered for a year.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
He's a
man.
rock star, man.
Yeah?
He's a rock
Down
star.
in San Diego.
Yeah,
Sunny
yeah.
San Diego. Love it. My neck of the woods. Is there anything that I didn't talk about, or is anything you want to share that I didn't mention?
Yeah, just in the future, you know, I think right now, sometimes we can get caught up on what we're doing right now, right? And I'm sure you have a lot bigger plans, you know, with Monster Motivator TV, and like what's coming up after that, right? And like seeing this vision 5, 10 years, 15, 20, who knows?
Even
where
a
we're
year.
gonna be. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who knows where we're going to be? But for me, I really am excited to take all this knowledge that I'm learning, building businesses, helping business owners build their businesses, and taking this experience and applying it in the future. Specifically, augmented reality. right? Getting into this technology,
Talk about
this whole technology background and love of games and video games and all that, I kind of put it to the side, right? I put it to the side, even though I love gamifying reality. I love making a challenge every day. Like, how can I make today better than it was yesterday? How can I level myself up? How can I grow my skills? That kind of thing. In addition, like, there's this technology, augmented reality, that we can use to integrate our reality and personal development. So, like, say, for example, I do something that I don't like to do, like washing the dishes, right? Right now, there's no reward for it. There's no, like, instant gratification. It's just like, freaking heck, I gotta go do these dishes, right? But if we had augmented reality where we could be leveling up our dishwashing skill or our endurance, our discipline, different stuff like that, getting rewards or getting discounts in the marketplace for different products, while we're doing these activities, there's a whole world there available for people who do the stuff that they don't want to do, but are willing to do it anyway. And we integrate augmented reality to integrate personal development and, like, doing stuff that we don't want to do. So that's, like, what I'm seeing is merging these two, personal development and augmented reality. So I'm so excited about
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's an awesome niche, brother. That's an awesome niche. I love that. Anything else you want to share before we jump on?
I'm just super grateful for you, man. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. You're a rock star. I can tell people love you because of who you are, your authenticity.
Thank you, bro. I mean, that's the greatest compliment. If someone could say I'm real, that's all I need.
Yes, dude.
That's all I need.
Just, like, you're having a lot of fun and everything that you're doing. You're an incredible role model for anyone who's looking to be a up-and-comer in the world.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for
appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. And let me ask you this. What's your definition of happiness? And you understand that he doesn't even know this was coming.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, happiness. Being able to do what I want, when I want, because I want.
And what's your definition of success?
Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
There you go. I heard that before.
Earl Nightingale.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Repeat that.
So the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
Break that down.
Success. You have an ideal target, where you're going, where you're headed, and every day you take a step, you move closer, you grow, you get, like, it becomes you. You step into this person who you're becoming to achieve that. That is success. Progressive realization of a worthy ideal, something worthy of you, of this life that we've been given. You know, we only have one as far as we know.
Oh, man.
As far as we know.
And it's quick, man. It's quick. I talk about that all the time. So real quick, my definition of happiness is fulfillment. And success is living life on your terms. And so my belief, right, is, and they both answers tie in together completely. And I believe, and tell me if I'm wrong at this. I don't believe I am, but when you found your EQ, that actually filled that void of fulfillment. Would that be accurate?
It did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was searching for something. I was disconnected from my soul.
You were missing that fulfillment.
Yeah, I was fulfillment. I was missing fulfillment.
And think about this, and I'm going to put this into perspective, right? That's why you can have millionaires, billionaires that are unhappy because, see, Chris could learn anything that he wanted, right? Whenever he wanted, at the time frame that he wanted. That's how much he controlled his IQ, but it still was a missing void, right, until you married that EQ. And that's the same thing I believe with, and we're going to use this as an example because people, you'll look at somebody with a lot of money and you think they have it all, or you look at somebody with a lot of money and you say, well, it's not just money. Well, it's not. That might be the vehicle, but unless you tie that in with fulfillment, you're going to keep searching for that happiness. What do you think?
Absolutely. That's 100% true, man. And like, I could get this sense of, hey, I'm the best at learning, but there was still this huge void, missing fulfillment.
Right.
And when I started connecting with people, relating to people, find out, like, what's the world really like? What outside of this bubble that I put myself in, because this is where I'm safe and protected and like happy, right?
Big quotation marks,
I'm happy, right? Outside of this bubble, like, what's out there? Like, let's open myself up, and like I said, being open is that. And I love that we can use you. You're such a great example. Let me dive in a little deeper. I thought we were going to jump off, but this is good stuff. You got to a point where you were looking for other outlets to make you happy. And that started getting you in trouble, right? And we talked about victim mentality and all that. But other outlets, and so many people do that without realizing
that all they have to do is face that fear, right? Face. I call fear batters the biggest bullies in life.
Yes.
And the only way to get your lunch money back is to step up. Right? You got to step up and get your lunch money back. So I love the fact that you, whether or not you could identify it then or not, that didn't matter because the laws work whether you know them or they don't, right?
Yep.
You very well. If anybody, you understand that. So that is so important to understand that he was looking for other outlets to fill that void. Luckily enough, he came across personal development. Now that right, exactly, that filled that showed him. I shouldn't say filled the void. He did it himself, but it gave him
A pathway. Yeah.
or even back a little bit, even gave him just an opportunity,
Yeah,
right?
A glimmer of hope.
A glimmer of hope.
A light at the end of the
I
tunnel.
love that. Whatever
Yeah.
the title you want to throw on it, but understand he had to do it. But that's when you break it down. Why he's where he's at is simply because of that, and that's what I want to drive home. Now, Chris, we always end the show the same way, right? And I always say, I don't make the rules and you don't make the rules, right? Life makes the rules.
Yep.
Life owns the game, and when you can learn how to play within the rules and maximize those rules to your benefit, to your expansion, you start to win. And life always gives us choices. And life always asks the questions. And life says, Chris, if you could live your life purring like a kitten or roaring like a lion, what would you do?
Roaring like a lion!
That's what man. And life says, if you can feel an unstoppable feeling the majority of the day, how good that would be.
Always.
So we
Always.
end it with the Monster Motivator roar.
Yes.
Right? And it goes like this. On three. 1, 2, 3.
Ah!
Oh, man.